All right, I'm going to add CJ Stroud to the bud list.
Fair. That's your man.
Wise.
Absolutely.
It's fair.
CJ, you got to prove that we don't have a problem. You really got to prove it.
Is this like a Houston thing?
Off of, kind of, maybe. Off of last year, coming off of last year, one thing we all were in agreement with was the idea that they got one. That one was you. We all believed that you were the one that they were going to build around. And you know what? Your organization immediately started to build. They started to add pieces around you. The idea that we're going to do something special because we have a guy under center that can get it done. This year, my man, let's be honest, it's been a rough season. It was rough all season long, and then even in the postseason against the Chargers, then you had a moment. And everybody through adversity, through some challenge, has to have a moment. This was your moment.
That's true.
When you fumbled that ball, it was like something clicked. And after that completion to Xavier Hutchinson, you came back to your senses. We no longer had a problem. CJ, this is what we need from you. This is what everybody was waiting for. Can you deliver? I believe in you. This is why you're on the bud list. Please, CJ, please, let's go.
So if it starts going bad, fumble it.
All right, so real quick off the top, I will be live streaming this game. So definitely please check it out on Saturday. It's going to be a lot of fun. We did it for the Minnesota Vikings and Rams game. It was a ton of fun. Lots of people showed up. Awesome conversations. And depending on how that goes, I might then continue forward and also stream the, I think it's the Washington Commanders and Lions game. But definitely join us on Saturday. Should be a lot of fun. And now let's go break down this clip. Yeah, man, I think CJ is given such a brutally difficult task here. In a weird way, he's almost kind of in a win-win situation because it's his second year. This team is obviously banged up, missing some like true weapons, bad offensive line. People have been criticizing his offensive coordinator, Bobby Slowick, and, you know, just getting a lot of criticism. And CJ Stroud has been getting plenty of criticisms as well. But I just think that there's enough noise around all of the other things that, like, to expect him to be able to win against Kansas City, it just, you know, I just don't know if anyone would really blame CJ Stroud. Oh, they could have beat the Chiefs if CJ Stroud played better. I don't think anyone thinks that. People do believe that about Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson last year, or heck, even Tua and the Miami Dolphins against Kansas City Chiefs last year. But I just don't think people see that with regards to CJ Stroud. Now, with CJ, if he now wins this game, I mean, it puts him on this path of, like, legend building, right? Like, it puts him back on this path of him being like, oh my God, he just did what Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson haven't. He just dethroned, he just knocked out the Kansas City Chiefs on the road in the playoffs, knocked them out. And it would be huge if he goes and has a 76% completion percentage, and he would have to have more than 199 yards, I assume. You know, 250, right? 12 yards per pass, 3 touchdowns, and a 130 rating, and wins. It's oh my goodness. Now CJ Stroud's in the AFC Championship game, right? It's just like boom, boom. There's all this talk about if Lamar Jackson wins the MVP and wins the Super Bowl, if Josh Allen wins the MVP, wins the Super Bowl, we can have real honest conversations of, like, is Josh Allen the best quarterback in the NFL? Is Lamar Jackson the best quarterback in the NFL? And I always took it to the next level, where I was like, and the next level to that is, like, you know, people will start to say, can Lamar become the GOAT? Can Josh Allen become the GOAT? Right? Like, you start to have those conversations. And then I even kind of posed an extreme scenario of Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels gets his team to the Super Bowl. And of course, if they wins, I mean, like, people will be out of their minds. They will immediately be like, is this the greatest quarterback we've ever seen in the history of our life? You know, is this just like what are we watching? What are we witnessing here? And if CJ Stroud beats the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead, right? Hostile environment, cold. People will completely forgive every single thing that happened during the regular season. and just say, this is a big time player. This is a big game player. This guy knows how to show up in the playoffs. He is him. He is that guy. And then, of course, if you actually win the AFC Championship and just get to the Super Bowl, let alone win the Super Bowl, now people will be like, CJ Stroud. I mean, people will be scrambling to try to make sense of how this year just unfolded. And they will just be like, we believed in CJ Stroud last season and said that he had like the best rookie season we've ever seen. And then we completely jumped off the ship this season. We were wrong. We are now drowning, looking at the ship of CJ, trying to like get back on. Please throw me a life raft. I'm sorry. I doubted you. I doubted you. I mean, like it would be fascinating. I mean, I was talking about this in the comments, like with Travis O'Shea and a few other people. Like, it would just be like, oh my God, the stories, the conversations, the takes. If CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans can win, would be just, it would be wild. It really, really would be wild. If the Chiefs beat the Texans, just another day, just another game. You know, what would be the conversations around the Texans? They weren't good enough. CJ wasn't good enough. Injuries, etc., etc., etc. Like it would just be like, another day. But if CJ and the Houston Texans win, not another day. It's another universe. The whole world opens up for this Texans team. The whole world opens up for CJ Stroud. He is back to being a superstar. Superstar. Bona fide superstar. Being seen as, when people say, oh, who are the top quarterbacks? It's no longer automatically, well, Mahomes and Allen and Lamar and Burrow. It's, well, we know Mahomes, and now we're talking about CJ Stroud and Josh Allen. Right? Like CJ Stroud is firmly inserted in that conversation, especially if he plays like after the fumble. So there's a lot at stake here. I'm not saying that he's under duress and under pressure to achieve that, because I think you're really only ever under duress or under pressure when, if you don't achieve something, then there's like true consequences. I'm not saying that this offseason will be easy. Like if they get rolled by the Chiefs, if they lose, again, I'm making up something here, 35-7, 31-7, 31-14, and it was like, yeah, you know, CJ had to throw the ball like 45 times because they were down, and yeah, you know, 64% completion percentage or whatever, and 240 yards or something. You know, and it would just, I don't know. They would be like, where did the season go wrong? What does CJ need to get better? It would almost be similar to like what Matt LaFleur said about like Jordan Love and the conversation that they're having about Jordan Love and the issues and where do we go from here? How do we get better? How do we put Jordan Love in a better position to succeed, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It would be similar to that with CJ. But if you win, it's how do we ensure that we win our rings with this quarterback right here? Kind of similar conversations that they had with Patrick Mahomes after 2018. It was, oh yeah, we got one here. This is the guy. Let's go. This guy is going to be the GOAT one. I mean, they were saying that before he ever even won a Super Bowl. CJ Stroud can re-enter that conversation. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Houston Texans and CJ Stroud? Do you think he has to prove that we don't have a problem? And do you think there's any chance that the Houston Texans can dethrone the Kansas City Chiefs? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here. Absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.